Okay, so here's my rectangular box, which is going to be my building flat substructure, right? Nice and solid. In this case, I had some extra 3/8 ply, so I decided to use that. You can use 1/4 inch, you can use 1/8 even. It's up to you. I just don't want to build a substructure out of expensive plastic, right? When I can build it out of wood, and then I can just epoxy tack my evergreen plastic or whatever styrene for gluing all my details to, and doors, window, whatever, you know. Okay. So I just take a straight edge and I establish the angle that I want, clamp it on, right? Draw a line. Then I can jigsaw this with a steady hand. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can plane it later if you want a nice tight seam. And you're good to go. That's it. Building flat. Simple. Okay, so how's everybody doing? So this is going to be part 2 of the signature scene and selective compression, because it's really hard to get everything in, that I want to share, because I can tell by the comments that some people, grasp it okay, and then some others maybe, need more information, and that's okay. So, and then I don't want to turn it into a big, long, pedantic video. I want to try to keep them at a level that serves people's lifestyle. A lot of people don't have the time to get into a long video, and I realize that some tutorials require it, but I want to try to keep my videos at a digestible level of 10 to 12 minutes. So I want to cover a little more ground in this part too, and I want to talk about building flats and facades, and also a little bit about revisions and sort of dress rehearsal, right? So just so you know, like composing a layout like this, or any shelf layout, just doesn't come easy. Like, if you think it's going to come easy, then you're dreaming, right? Like, you're only deceiving yourself. Like, these things take time. You got to sleep on them. You got to do lots of dry runs or rehearsals like this. Like, how many times I've set up this barge slip and taken it down? I mean, I got to take it down to work on it, right? Otherwise, I'll just KO the thing, It'll get damaged. But I need to set it up and do rehearsals, because it's all part of the scene. It's all part of the balance that I'm trying to achieve here of the look as you move through the room and even operate on your layout, right? Like, it's all part of the, immersive experience, that we all want to acquire and achieve at some point, right? I mean, that's part of the art of the model railroad, or the diorama. In many cases, is it pleasing to the eye to look at? So in terms of rehearsals and building flats, I'll show you here. I've got these building flats built up, and I'll show you, my idea behind them. So here's the number 1 warehouse, which is the brewery, which is these 2 pictures right here. Okay. The one on the left is going to be right here. It'll be this sort of barley hops, hopper or whatever. That's going to be here, because this is a nice spot here for, that particular detail and model, with the water and just the flow of the eye will come in here, and it'll sort of start right here. And then as the eye starts to go to the right, then you start, the barge ramp head and so on. And then, like, this actual warehouse is probably the most scale to the prototype in comparison to the other 2, this is number 2 right here. And you'll see that this is just a very small compressed section of this middle warehouse, which is next to this really long one over here, which I'll talk about in a second. But I just, this is the space that I want to squeeze the 3 of them in, and I want to break up this run too, like the monotony of it. The reason why I want a larger application here on warehouse number 1, the brewery, because it has lots of really nice details on it. So I want to use that as a sort of primary model on this end of the layout. And then this one here I've revised a bit, but there is an opening like a road that goes between actually here. But I might have it here because there is a return like this, an angled return, but it would justify, getting to these garbage cans because, what back lot or back alley railroad doesn't have trash bins, and then you need access to get to them. So I'm just playing around with that because I can move this, right? Or I can even turn it upside down and face it the other way. See, I always try to build some of that option in because as we're composing the scene, revising, rehearsing, we want to, decide, okay, do I want the access road right there? That's where the prototype one is, not here, see? But, I'm not going to rush to the decision there because there's a turnout here and other neat details going on. And then there's this long building right here, which is this one back here, which is served by a sort of a dual spur, okay? And then this is the office at the barge approach, which is kind of in the way here, but this is a super long building, which would actually span the whole length of this footprint, which obviously I'm not going to do. Right? If you build it exactly to the prototype, actually, if you stick, to the prototype too much, it can be quite boring. Like, I know that sounds maybe heretical to the hardcore prototypical modelers, but that's the reality of it. That's the whole point of selective compression, right? Is that we have the license to compress and revise the scene to make it even more appealing and more attractive. And then in here you can see there's one spur here so far. I might put one more turnout in here, maybe, but maybe not, because this whole area has changed quite a bit as well, right? Okay, it's not even the same anymore, like according to 2021. Like in the early 90s, 2010, it was different. Like here's an idea of a revision. Like see here, what I did yesterday was I cut off about a 4-inch piece there, or 3-inch, because I wanted to open that up a bit, see? Now it's a loading bay or anyway. And then this building here I want to point out as another revision. See this photo up above here? I'll show you the color shot. Okay, notice the building on the left. It looks like there's a couple of buildings that have been added on. Those are actually way back in the background, like this back here, like this, see? It actually, see, I cut that, and it goes back further, see? See how that changes things? Creates more depth, right? But yet in the photo, it looks like it's flush. The smaller building to the right of the Axton building looks like it's actually flush to the front of the building, but it's not. I had to look at some of my other photographs, again, research, study, to find out, hey, wait a minute, it doesn't look like that. And when I looked at Google Earth, that building is like, 60 yards back from the main building. So when I first built this facade, it was all one piece, right? And then I thought, something's not right here with this picture. But anyway, so that's part of, building flats, facades, revisions, and rehearsing the scene over and over again, sleeping on it, go have a coffee, have a drink, whatever, come back, look at it again. Look at it and ask yourself why something's not working, right? I mean, I'm really liking it so far, but you can see like even that return on the far warehouse is a nice break, isn't it? With that piece in the middle, it sort of adds another little element of depth, right? Okay. So now I have these building flats. They're all on different angles. Slight though, very slight though. Only a few degrees will do it. Okay? It's all you have to do to get away from that flat one-dimensional look, And then what I'm going to do is I'll be doing a tutorial on the building of the warehouses, which will be really fun. Like I'm really looking forward to this fall. That's why I want to get all this woodwork done. Because I'm going to sheet all these 3/8 plywood, 7-ply birch, 3/8. It's not the cheapest plywood in the world, but it makes for beautiful building structures, like substructures. And you know, warehouses are easy, right? They're just a rectangle. There's not much to them really. A few returns on them, but you can do a lot on the details on the on the face. I mean, these would be tilt ups, concrete tilt ups, but they'll have doors and vents and roof details on them as well. So. And then this whole area where the trucks are kind of gives you the sense of scale, right? Okay, so that's the episode 2 on building flats, facades, revisions, and rehearsal. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.